Yeah, it's so true because we're also told, you can't become the actress or you can't become the actor because you're going to be starving. But I thought I'm going to somehow bring the arts back into the work because what is communication? It's an art. And it doesn't just help us with the way we express ourselves, but also other life things like when we have to go for interviews, in our interpersonal relationships, building friendships.
Take the time to remind yourself that it all starts inside yourself.
Wake up feeling stuck every day, then you gotta realize that it's all in your mindset. Read about that meditation, you go get around to it, you just haven't had the time yet. Yeah, I bet. Best thing that you could invest in is you. Could have the results or could have the excuse. Only one life, so take care of what you choose. And I ain't preaching, I'm just telling you the truth. Wake up!
Hello and welcome to Bombastik Broadcasting with Kath, Kim and Sue.
As you know, here at Bombastik Broadcasting, we believe in shining the light on all things bombastic and illuminating the folks who are stoking the fire in their souls, one podcast at a time. I think this might be one more series of the Global Conscious Parenting Summit. Now, by the time you see this, that summit will have already aired. So without further rambling on, let me introduce the lovely Laura Moavero. And
Thank you, Kat.
she's from
Thank
South
you so
Africa. You're welcome. You're welcome. And I love it. I said, I'm completely surrounded by South Africans today. I could not be happier. I mean, this is like a dream. Because some of the best people in the whole world, in my opinion. And so Laura is a conscious parenting and life coach. She is also speech and drama educator and a communication specialist. So, I mean, hello, who doesn't need that, right? Embrace all the communication and with the drama. So I can't wait to hear more from Laura. Another thing I just want to mention is she talks about the conscious stage, parents rising, harnessing the power of drama for emotional growth and beyond with your children shining. So let's just dive in, shall we, ladies?
Beautiful, beautiful.
It's great to have you on this morning, Laura. I wanted to ask you how did you get started in the whole combining of drama and consciousness?
It's such a beautiful question, that, Sue. So as a little girl, I was really very shy, and I would hide behind my mom. I used to wear glasses, and I just didn't express myself very well. And then I got to high school, and my mother said, right, we're enrolling you in a drama class. And in those days, drama wasn't really very big. It was always about the ballet and the netball and all the sports. And I started my drama lesson with the most incredible lady who really built me up. And she made me believe that I could do sight reading so well, I could recite poetry, and then she entered me into our Statefords, into competitions, and slowly my confidence grew. I was very nervous, but she taught me the most incredible skills, how to control my nerves as a teenager, because when I was much younger, I was a ball of nerves. And I think what set that going was when I was in grade 5, which is middle school. I had a teacher who really made me feel very small and very insignificant. And it wasn't just me, it was the whole class. And I think that's how it kind of started. And that's when my mother said, right, that's it. We need somebody to build you up here. And I had the most wonderful parents who always made me feel so confident, but that it wasn't enough. And this incredible teacher got me on the road, and she taught me the most incredible skills. And like I said, the ability to control nerves, the ability to get up there and do your best, and your best is good enough. So she worked on affirmations. She worked on visualization techniques, because I had to almost visualize myself on that stage before I got onto the stage, because it's a whole process. It's like the actor, what the actor does. The actor has to work on breath work. The actor has to work on visualization, on becoming the character, on internalizing the role. And she just had the most incredible ability to do that. And slowly I grew, and then I went to art school, which was here in Johannesburg. And it was a school where you could take up drama as a subject, and it offered art, drama, music, ballet. So children who were incredibly talented in art, music, ballet, or drama would then enter into the school, and we matriculated there with our normal subjects. So we still had our English and our Afrikaans and all the other subjects, but drama is what we majored in. And I think that set the stage for me. So it was such a beautiful journey. I was so blessed.
What a clever mom you've got.
Oh,
Yeah.
She really
Yes.
is. I have to second that, Kimmy. She really is she's an incredible woman. I mean, really, just to see that, just to
Yes.
see that there's a need here, and how can we help? She wasn't going to fix it. She was just going to assist and guide, and that's what she did for me. So I'm eternally grateful for that. I really am.
To say the way you just described that, Laura,
Mm,
I hope some major school board is listening, because how can that
yeah.
not need to be one of the primary subjects? I mean, when you say like the visualization and
Mm,
the imagining yourself, the breath work, all these things that in our world today where we've forgotten how to do so many of the basics, and where at some point in your life somebody made you feel small, probably when you were
mm,
small, and that just
mm,
sticks with you like glue. So the way you just described that, I mean, what a beautiful need to know kind of thing, especially when we know we're supposed to visualize who we want to be and
yes,
where we want to be. I mean, that's fantastic.
absolutely. And it takes one person sometimes, Kath, just to do
Mm.
that, because people have good intentions, but it can just take one person to kind of just make a shift. And
Yes.
it's just the one thing that they do that can just change everything for you. And that's why I started teaching drama, because that shift made me realize that if this could happen to me, it could happen to so many more children out there and adults. And that's when I went into the communications training as well with adults, because for an adult who hasn't been trained in the breath work, who hasn't been trained in the visualization, who has to get up there and make a presentation, it's a great, great fear. Because what is making a presentation? I mean, it's standing up there and giving your energy and connecting with your audience. And what do they say? One of man's greatest fears, they say death, divorce, moving home, and making a presentation, speaking in public. It's a fear. It's a
Wild.
huge
Yeah.
fear.
It's crazy that it's up there with the big three, with
It is the big three. You're 100%, Kath. Absolutely. So you have these beautifully, really very skilled people that you're working with in the corporate industry. I'm talking from a communications perspective, who have got all the content and they've got everything going, but to get up there and to actually speak and to get the message across effectively and with power is very difficult. And what we often have to do is, before we even teach the skill of how to present effectively, we've got to go into that, into self. Like, what is that's holding you back? What are your fears? Is it something from childhood? Were you also told that you'll never amount to anything? What were you told? What was the narrative told to you that you now need to work on? So often I have to work on that emotional, getting into that emotional kind of landscape with them first, before we can even get to those presentation skills. So drama, communications, it all works together. It's such a beautiful blend. It really, really is.
I just want to have more babies and enroll them in your classes.
I'd love to get all your babies. I'd love to be in my class.
What a wonderful gift you're giving the world. That's absolutely
Wow.
amazing. Do you work at like the school that your boys go to, or I know your boys are older,
So
hey?
my boys are older. I've got an 18-year-old and a 22-year-old. And it's so funny, so interesting, that one, because, they would have to do all their speeches and all their presentations for school and their prep work and their sight reading. And it was always like, Ma, you don't have to help us. We're okay. And I'm like, but I can help you with this. We can start it in this way. I can give you a powerful beginning, a powerful closing. And they were like, we're okay. So teaching our own children is very different to teaching
Yes.
classic.
children who can, it is a classic. Absolutely. But we know that children model us. So when I'm speaking to people, when I'm communicating, when I'm teaching, they sit in on my lecture some days, they see it. And I think it
Yes,
goes through into their skin. And that's the power
absolutely.
of, I think, parenting. It really is.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
you're picking up that piece for other people, other parents. You know what I mean? You're being that
Yeah,
gap stopper for other parents. So that's lovely.
exactly. And
What
they
age do
also,
you?
mm.
No, go ahead, Laura.
No, I'm saying those parents have got their own fears. So they almost
Yes.
push their children into participating and enrolling in the speech and drama or in the public speaking festival, because they themselves felt like they never had that opportunity. So it's like,
Mm,
my child's got to come and, and experience this. And very often the kids
right.
don't really want to be there. And then once they start to realize, actually, this is fun. I'm allowed to just open up that costume box and wear my different hats and have the bag and have the scarf and we can play around. We can do role play and we can act and we can dance to music. Then it starts to shift for them. But very often it's the parents that have this, I don't want my child to be the way I was, shy and almost like just
Hiding away.
non-existent. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Not
Wow.
able to express themselves.
Yeah. When you think about that too, like you said, to get out and play and have fun with it, because we're by the time I remember taking speech class, even in college, and I was mortified, absolutely mortified to hear my own voice standing up in front of my peers or people I didn't even know. And, but it wasn't presented as fun, or at the end of this, you're going to be a completely different person, or any of the soul landscape kind of creative, that you're talking about. And, if you think about it, we're born, like you said, we want to play around. We want to put on scarves, we want to be different characters and try on different things for size. And I think at some point that's kind of squelched out of us, or someone, makes fun of you, and then you completely stop and you go in your box, and stay there, because life isn't, you're not, don't pretend to be someone else, or whatever that's said, but that you celebrate it and help people kind of try on different things for size. That's
Kath, it's so interesting what you're saying there. I love what you're saying because I'd say about 20 years ago, boys started coming to speech and drama. It wasn't a thing for boys to come to speech and drama. And I had a gorgeous little boy. He was 10 and he really had no confidence. And his mom sent him and he was prepared to be there. And we started making affirmation cards. I let them, we talk about what an affirmation is and how we need to it's like a statement, it's in the present tense. When we repeat it a few times, it becomes part of our subconscious and eventually we become that. And we sat around in a circle and I do like a check-in first. And I said, let's think of our own affirmations. So I gave them a couple of my own, like every day, in every way, I get better and better. My best is good enough. I'm allowed to make mistakes as long as I learn from them. I believe in myself. So just that, beautiful. And he came up with, and I've never forgotten, and I actually kept it up on my board, boys are allowed to cry. And when I heard that, boys are allowed to cry. Well, something in me was just, it was like an awakening. And I looked at this beautiful boy. I mean, he was wearing glasses and he was a little bit, I think he had, at the time, I think he was epileptic. So he was struggling with a whole lot of things. And he just sat there and I said to him, absolutely, you're allowed to cry. And I've carried that into all my lessons because that's the whole thing when we're raising boys. Now, I had my own boys. And for me, what was fundamental when raising my boys was for them to really get out those emotions, the feelings. Feelings are meant to be felt. It's not about shutting them down or enough now. Just, wipe your eyes. Are you a big boy? Because that's what we do with boys. So when I was gifted with my beautiful boys, it was something I worked very hard at doing. And I'll never forget, that card. And I kept it with me. I kept it along the way. Boys are allowed to cry. And it changed things for me. It was like life-changing for me because I hadn't had my kids yet at that stage. And by the way, today, this particular child, I mean, ladies, you have to listen to this. He contacted me on Facebook and said, Teacher Laura, I can't believe you're still around. I mean, haven't you, kind of passed on yet?
You're like, wait a minute here. I'm not even halfway yet, buddy. No.
Yeah, I'm just starting out. He's living in Australia and he's acting. He's become an actor. He's got 2 children. He's got little ones. His wife's just given birth. I think twins. And we connected. And I said, I'll never forget you. You were such a special, special child. And he said to me, well, you kind of just helped me along the way. And I said, well, then my job's done. Then my job is done. What else? What more can we ask
Awesome
in
accolade.
this?
Yeah.
Isn't it just to? So, and that was just, it was incredible. And it sticks. It's like that stickiness factor. You just don't forget it.
Yeah.
You don't
You
forget
gave
it.
him a huge gift and he gave you a huge gift.
Exactly.
What a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Oh,
It was
man,
beautiful.
that's so beautiful.
Really. Absolutely. So
Absolutely
that
love
was
that.
that with the boy, the boys. We forget.
Yes. No, 100%. And I wish I'd known that earlier with my boys too. It took a while, but I think they're getting to the point where they can feel their feelings, but it's so drummed out of boys to
Yes,
feel their
exactly.
feelings and express their
Exactly.
feelings and
And
things
we
like
need to
that.
keep it alive. We need to remind them that
Yeah.
we can still be, we can still be strong. We can still be confident. We can still be assertive, but we can feel our feelings, and it's okay because we have those moments. We've got to get them out, and it moves
Beautiful.
on. Those emotions move on.
I
I
love that
drive.
you said feelings are meant to be felt. I just have to repeat that because that was so good. And I can't believe I've never heard that before.
Okay, so we're going to pin it up.
How old are the people that you teach? Are they just children or adults as well?
So I teach preschool kids. So that's quite something. So from 2 to 6, and I've got teenagers I do private work with. And then I lecture. So it's business communications is my subject. And I've incorporated all the conscious parenting into that. So it's conscious living. And I'm doing a lot of now parent coaching. So I've incorporated all my parents into the work that I'm doing, which is what I'm absolutely loving. Because what do they say? Teach the child so you don't have to teach the adult. So if we can teach the child, by the time they become adults, well, that's it. Teach the child so we don't have to teach the adult. And that just makes sense for me, that. So with
Yes.
conscious parenting, it's all about that. We think it's about the child, but it's about the adult, and it's shining our light. And it's,
That's
yeah, absolutely. So, and we fear our own potential. And there's this beautiful, it was taken from, I'm sure you've all heard it. It's Mariana Williamson's, it's from her book. And I found it and I thought, I'd like to share it with you again so we can just think about it again and just ingest it. Would you mind if I read it?
Please
So
do. I love this one.
I love it.
I know it's coming and I love it.
Yes, there we go. I'm building it up. So it's, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God, and your playing small doesn't serve the world. I'll end it there. And she wrote this in 1992. Her book was called A Return to Love. She's an American writer. She's beautiful, Mariana Williamson. And, the whole thing, and for me, it was all about that we fear our own potential. And as parents, we fear that. We fear, how are we going to be? Excuse me, as parents, as moms, as dads, as caregivers, we fear that. We have this, and it holds us back, and we lose touch of our instinct, and we need to get that back again. We do, and we're so excited about so many things, so many voices in our head, so many people talking. It's chatter, and we need to just go within and find it for ourselves. It's there, and I think that's what it's about, unlocking that. So beautiful, and that for me is like so profound. And when I read it to businessmen or businesswomen, they kind of sit back because it's so corporate, and then you go, just lean into this, and just we're all human here, and let's start with that first before we start creating the skills. So yeah,
I'm so blown away. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, when you hear that, there's an inner knowing that what you're saying is true for all of us. But at the same time, it's so completely absurd that we're afraid of that. Like the one thing we're also very afraid that we won't achieve. It's such a paradox, isn't it?
Such a paradox. Absolutely.
Do people just burst into tears sometimes? Because I want to.
Have a good cry with coffee.
On a podcast. That's going to be the affirmation. You're allowed to cry. You're allowed
to cry on the podcast. Yeah, that's right.
But it's about. It is about. We always holding back the pretense, Yeah. And we can only learn that through experience. Okay?
Please go. No, you
go. Please, you go. I want to hear what you have to say.
It's such an important thing that you're talking about on so many different levels. And I think a lot of people think, even when they see their child is maybe good at an art, I think there's this instant fear of struggling artist, starving artist, like that all gets so attached, and it's drilled into us that not only is it good for our life to just know the arts and know the art in yourself, you don't have to be, a superstar actor or musician or whatever, but the arts inside of us, if you feel that bubble, it's because it's part of life, right? And we're supposed to express that to have a life. But it's so boiled into us that, well, you're not going to make any money, and it's really hard to be successful, so don't even try. And that's kind of a paradigm for what you're saying with life too. It's almost like you're beating the life out of people or young children, maybe, if you put that in their minds. And you're really awakening that, I think, by what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's so true, because we're also told you can't become the actress or you can't become the actor because you're going to be starving. Exactly what you're saying. I love what you just said. It's so true. And that's why we all kind of studied further. But I thought I'm going to somehow bring the arts back into the work, because art, because it's really, I mean, what is communication? It's an art. It's not a science. It's this kind of never ending, it's circular. It's not linear. And this is how it is. And it doesn't just help us with the way we express ourselves, but also other life things, like when we have to go for interviews, in our interpersonal relationships, building friendships. And that's why a lot of the parents feel like their children need more social skills, because they're on their screens all the time, which is, we know it's a huge problem. And our kids are rather, relation to their screens as opposed to relating one-on-one to people. We're losing the art of interpersonal communication. And that's why I make the children and I make the adults use their imagination, work with the role play, get parents to read stories to their children. And what's so interesting is when I'm in class and I put on music, and just say it's just something that's animated, but it's like a dance and free song, for example. The children who are addicted to the screens at home because they're used as a babysitting tool, those are the children who want to come up to my phone and they want to look and see what's happening on the phone, because at the age of 2, these kids are swiping. And I'm like, no, we're going to use our imaginations. I take my phone and I put it far away, and then the speakers are obviously doing the work. But already our little ones it's all about screen time. And for parents, it's easy. It's much easier. I mean, it's hard work to entertain your children, to connect with your children, to have conversations with your children. And this is what we're trying to kind of, in the work that I'm doing, I'm trying to just break that. I think, educate parents that you can find ways to connect without them watching too much television, etc. Yeah. So I think we need to just push that as hard as we can.
The screens are the anxiety, and like you're saying, like part of your drama and coaching is anxiety reducing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
So let's go back to good old fashioned storytelling.
You're living it. You're absolutely beautiful. So, Laura, here at Bombastik Broadcasting, we like to say that a rising tide lifts all boats. So just tell us a little bit more about what you offer. So those classes are obviously live for the parents, and they and they're you're in Johannesburg, and then you teaching the little kids in Johannesburg, and then what about your online offers?
Coaching? Yes, I've got online coaching. I do, and also online group work with parents, parent workshops. And I'll also do a lot of workshops with teachers. So enriching teachers in the classroom as well, because teachers also, I mean, they also need to, kind of refresh their minds again, because they're working with children. It can be very intense. And to find new ideas and ways to also teach, and just to bring in new creative ways of expressing themselves and introducing games, etc. So I then work with teachers to find ways to work with their class, connect with their class, offer suitable books that they can maybe share with their class, where they can think about, different stories, enacting stories. So we read stories and then we can act out stories with lessons, etc. So I think our teachers need it. It's hard work, and they need almost like that mental reprieve. Like they need to also just work with their breathing, do a little bit of mindfulness work. What do we do before we walk into our classroom? Because we've come from home. We have our own life at home. you arrive in the classroom and now you need to take a breath before you start your day. You know, you're park your stuff in the car park and then walk into the classroom. And what do you do before that? What kind of breathwork techniques do you do before you embark, you know, with work in the classroom? So I think that's huge. The teacher workshops, obviously
Yes.
one-on-one parent coaching, online. So that works beautifully. And yeah, so that's where we're at.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you for shining your light on the world. That's amazing.
All back to you, ladies. I've got to send it back to you. You're doing the most incredible work. Incredible.
And just like
Yeah, I
so
think
many of the other, just like so many of the other conscious parenting coaches, you're bringing the fun and the playfulness back into our existence.
Yes, yes. It's almost like my favorite musical was The Sound of Music. And I think a beautiful way to describe conscious parenting and what the work that we are doing is you have Captain Von Trapp and you have Maria. And Von Trapp brings in the traditional parenting, where he's an authoritarian, he's trying to, you know, grow soldiers. And Maria, who was played by Julie Andrews, if you remember, and she brings in this lightness and the playfulness and the joy that we've all lost along the way. And, you know, and she talks to these children in a way where she allows them to bring in their own personalities and their own uniqueness. And obviously in the movie and in the musical, they come together and they blend both. But it's such a wonderful, you know, way of describing the traditional parenting and the conscious parenting. And just the songs from there, you know, she brings in these magnificent songs, the Do, Re, Mi, which I use in my lessons, and the kids love it.
Lovely.
Because it's so catchy. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. And she does all that. And it's a beautiful song. It's, what's it called? It's My Favorite Things. These are a few of my favorite things. And she goes into raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens. And for me, it's about, like, what are your favorite things? What brings joy to your life? Because we forget, like, what are the joys? You know, especially with my teenagers that I teach, what joy do you have besides your screen time? Let's find the joy. And that goes into parenting as well. So, Sound of Music. Ladies, Friday night, movie night, get the Sound of Music.
Yes.
Yes.
Hear that.
There we go. The hills all out. Oh, I love it.
That's amazing. I think
Awesome.
we've definitely learned from the conscious parenting that people that we've interviewed that learning while you're playing is the best way to do it.
Yeah.
And we're trying very hard to do that with our podcast. We're not actually trying very hard. We're just giggling our way through all the podcasts. So
You're in the being state.
it's
So it's there. It's there.
Exactly.
Be who you are. I love it. Beautiful. Beautiful. I think we all need to hum happy birthday to Sue. And humming helps the vagus nerve. It stimulates the vagus nerve. I do humming. It works with the voice, the resonating chambers. So maybe we can end on a little bit of a hum. What do you say, ladies?
Love that.
Let's do it.
So,
what a gift.
Okay, so Sue, it's your special day today. So just relax your shoulders, ground yourself. Just feel all the love because it is your celebration today. So it's this.
Fantastic.
It came across really well.
Nobody has ever hummed happy birthday to me before. Thank you. That was amazing.
We've done a whole lot of things to stimulate the vagus nerve. We've warmed up our voice and we have been and we're singing to be celebrating your day. 3 in 1. It's a 3 in 1.
Thank you.
Oh, beautiful one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
Oh,
Laura, will you just say your website for people?
Yes. So, okay, so my website's under construction. So can I give you my email address? And then, okay, so it's Laura, Laura, dot Moavero, Moavero, at outlook.com.
And is that a good way for people to contact you?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I'm on Facebook and, of course, Instagram.
Okay. Well, that's it from Bombastic Broadcasting. Embrace the drama, feel all the feels, and learn to enjoy your light.
Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. So much more in this world that you can do. Wake up. Every little thing in this life that you're going through don't mean a thing. Wake up. You keep shining. You keep grinding. Wake up. All is aligning. All you gotta do. Wake up. My man Mo said that the reason that the world fucked up is cause everybody lazy. Positivity is corny to them, but they still gon' complain about the bad going on. Shit crazy. So I just had to drop a little project. I don't know what the object is, but this feels good. If you too hood for the good vibe, sorry I ain't got nothing for you. Why should I?
You shouldn't. We out here doing the things that y'all wouldn't. Life could be a sweet ride, proof is in the pudding. These guys with the weak vibes, I'll show them where to put it. Down bad, I was looking for the answer. Mind all mad, taking over like a cancer. Canceled the sub plans, came from up above. Told me everything we're doing, showing love, and I gotta wake up.
So much more in this world that you can do. Wake up. Every little thing in this life that you're going through don't mean a thing. Wake up. You keep shining. You keep grinding. Wake up. All is aligning. All you gotta do. Wake up.
I've been getting so high, head up in the clouds. I don't ever wanna come down, but I gotta
wake up.
Ain't enough time to be down. Bust a smile, cause it's yet another day that I'm allowed to
wake up.
Feeling blessed to be alive, man. Not long till we thriving. Take the time to remind yourself that it all starts inside yourself. Most.
Wake up feeling stuck every day, then you gotta realize that it's all in your mindset. Read about that meditation, you go get around to it, you just haven't had the time. Yeah, I bet. Best thing that you could invest in is you. Could have the results or could have the excuse. Only one life, so take care of what you choose. And I ain't preaching, I'm just telling you the truth. Wake up. So much more in this world that you can do. Wake up. Every little thing in this life that you're going through don't mean a thing. Wake up. You keep shining. You keep